And we're live! Griff.
So I think, am I starting it off?
Yeah, go for it.
First thing on the list, I'm checking out Ambo right now. It's the mobile wallet from My Crypto, and it looks clean. I love the make something happen right there. That's so cool. So yeah, it looks familiar. It looks like something you could quickly send and receive funds with. And I got tokens in here. So good job to the My Crypto team for putting out this mobile wallet, Ambo, AMBO. Chill. So what's up, dudes? Are you guys in ETHCapetown? Chilling.
Yeah, man.
Well, ETHCapetown has just wrapped up, so it's what day is it? What year is it? It's like Tuesday, and it finished on Sunday, so we're still hanging around Cape Town, and this was, I say this every time, but it's the best global event. It's like the best hackathon I've been to yet.
Yeah, man. I couldn't believe the quality of entries in ETHCapetown. There were so many good. It was also the first ETH Global event where everyone got to present on stage.
Oh wow!
And it didn't, including this guy.
My main quest this time, because like I hadn't hacked before. I mean, I hacked at ETH Denver and at ETH Paris, but like it was kind of on like my own thing. Wasn't really kind of a part of anything. But then like me and Ryan sat down. Ryan is my counterpart in developer relations at Colony, and we took the budget box mechanism and applied it to. It was all for the good of a pun. The project name was called Scruple, which was for funding social good. And if you can't fund the social good with the scruples, then you have no scruples.
Yeah. I feel like we've talked about scruples on the Riff before. I feel like I've heard the word scruples.
Yeah, right? It's been brewing, and then finally we were able to implement it. So it was a good time. And
scruples.
We had to self-disqualify because we tried to finish up after the deadline, and we were like, nobody's going to find out, but it's still within the spirit of the hackathon to say we didn't actually ship this by the deadlines, so we're not gonna.
Yeah, no offense. You went to one anyway.
I don't think we would have won.
So wait. So speaking of that, the judging. So did you do some judging, Griff?
Oh, I'm always judging.
Okay, so that I could feel it. So my question about the judging is always like the format. Like, how did different groups get to go to different judges, or was it kind of like the filter hierarchy process?
So I've been the judge of a lot of ETH Global events, and this was the first time where all the judges saw all of the projects. Usually they break the judges up into teams, and then each judging group gets to pick one winner. This time we got to debate about all 4 winners, and actually it was really fun because it was a smaller hackathon. I think it was like 30 projects. We should have looked up the stats again. So it was like 33 projects submitted there, and then like 69% of the attendees were from South Africa. 30% were new to Ethereum. Oh, I thought it was over half. Over half.
40. Oh yeah, or 40. I thought it was under half.
Was it under half?
It was like about half.
The stats changed as the thing went on. But
those are good numbers. It's about it's like about the local people being involved, right? It's about like not all of. I remember talking to Boris about this, where we would. He's like he was kind of ripping on it a little bit, where all of us just travel around, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be like we kind of, some of the more initiated converge on a place, but a lot of more like local people from the area also participate in the hack, and that's important.
No, it was, and there were a couple of projects that like chose really specifically to focus on local issues. So we had one project that was totally new that focused on like election-focused issues, election-related like voting and stuff. There were some other ones that focused on.
There were a lot of really cool projects. And I mean, this was one of the problems with cons in general, is like there's newbies that don't know anything about Ethereum competing against the guy who writes Ether.js, right? Like, and it's like, in fact, as in the judging group, we kind of like had debates because it's like, okay, well, these are the 4 best projects. But like, does Richard just? I call him Rick Moo because that's his Twitter handle.
Rick
Like, does he need to win
Moo.
another hackathon? Does he need to win another hackathon? Probably not. Yeah, he did this Will of the Wisp, which was an amazing project where you deploy code with Create 2, and then you can like remove it, and but assets can be held by this contract, and you can send assets to the contract really cheaply, even though the contract's not there, and then you redeploy the contract under
Create 2. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Create 2. And that's such a cool way to do it too. Like that's a great way to demonstrate the technology. Rick Moo's the man for sure.
He is. And every single judge voted for him, and then we decided to not let him win. Because we wanted to let local people win. We wanted to encourage local developers. There was a local team that did a really cool AI project that would allow people to just decipher or transcribe 5 seconds of audio, and then they would bring them all together. It was a really awesome project, and there was like an Alti market that was really interesting.
There was NFTs for conservation.
Wild cards.
So they took wild cards. And they had such great showmanship. They all had fezzes. They came up and presented and like pretended that they were on a safari. But the underlying idea was that you had NFTs that represented specific endangered rhinos and specific endangered animals, which are already tagged. So they just kind of like mapped that. They named them after they had like a Vitalik, they had a Griff, they had a bunch of names for them.
I think they named them after you.
It was all of us.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe it was Austin.
It was the Griffs. Yeah. But they did the Harbinger tax on it.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So you set your animals are always for sale, and then in order you have to pay a 5% fee, and that fee goes directly to the rhino.
It's funny because
you're kind of selling. Yeah.
Oh, we got a weird.
Yeah, we got
Cape Town all the way to Colorado. We got the delay.
Yeah, it's too bad he couldn't be here this time, but that's okay. So it's kind of like a trading cards for endangered species, but you're always paying a fee to conserve the endangered species. And so the idea would be that there would be less cards for more endangered species than there would be for less endangered species. So they'd be more valuable,
Yeah, that was a cool thing. It ended with like, hey, like if you want, like we got to the end and there's no more rhinos, and if you're wondering why, it's because they're an endangered species. And you have to buy some of these to keep them around. So it was really great. It tied it together really well.
Were you gonna say something on that, Austin?
Yeah. So I was gonna kind of make a joke that it's funny. I think last ETH Denver, not this one, but last ETH Denver, we got together for talking about what our hackathon project was going to be. And a guy on my team, Patrick, was like, let's do NFTs for endangered species and pay for them. And I was like, how about Pogs? And we made Pogs.
Well,
sorry to all the endangered species out there. Dang it.
But yeah, man, and there was another team that was called Snap that won it, and they had a lot of showmanship. They were always up there every time they said the name Snap.
I saw Snap. I saw the Fez hats. I saw a dude. I think DTalk is what it was called. Is that right?
Yeah.
It was like a video feed service that they used. I think they extended the burner wallet, but then they were using Raiden on top of it with like video feeds. Is that how it works?
Dude, these guys were insane. Well, okay, they had some real heavy hitters on the team, like one of the main devs for Solidity and like some other guys, right? But and some extra help that we don't have to talk about. There's only 4 members per team, I'm sure, right? No questions asked. But they extended burner wallet and did it with XDAI, and then they're like, you know what, fuck it, let's use Raiden and just extend burner wallet to use Raiden instead of XDAI.
They extended the burner wallet first, and then on on Saturday evening, Julian from Flying Carpet brought in an artist to do this really cool live, and he's like normally a busker and sells CDs and stuff, and they had they live streamed it there. So they had already implemented and they had it like running, doing this guy's performance the night before. And then in the morning, they're like, oh, we got time. Let's throw in rated. Like, just like wire that in there.
You know, why not? We couldn't not let them win. Really what took them over the top is that they had an extra local person. They had someone from South America on their team too. That wasn't like a hardcore guy. Sorry. I say.
I like this backroom info for judging, man. That's great. My judging in ETH Paris was the first time to experience it. It's a totally different point of view, and it helps. Like, I have a much different understanding of how hackathons work now, being on both sides of it.
Yeah. Speaking of hackathons, you guys are doing are you helping to organize the Ethereum hackathon, the remote hackathon, or
I'm just stone cold shilling it. Yeah. So we're doing a hackathon. So it's more of a virtual hackathon. So 2 week long, I think April 15th to the end of April or something like that. We're doing a virtual hackathon with Microsoft and Fortmatic and a couple other, no, not Microsoft and LeapDAO. I think maybe Fortmatic's in on it too. I don't know. A long list of people. I think POA's in there. There's a lot of people, but basically a virtual hackathon leading up to Ethereum. And so I'm doing a build a game with Austin hack. So we're trying to just like get a bunch of people within GitHub and in the Discord to come together to build a game similar to my emoji coin. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was like, so I did a chapter on modules in the burner wallet. So it's like making the burner wallet more extensible. So you can just dive into the code and make a module and kind of just wire things up without having to know all the burner wallet stuff. It made it just a lot easier if you're familiar with Web3. But then I wanted to extend it, and I did Emoji Coin Exchange, which was like this usability UX study where I went to a local college and I dropped like these paper wallets on them. So it's like a little emoji, and if you open it up, there's a private key and like explains that you need to like sell shit coins and buy fire coins. And so it was basically like an investment game where the emojis would fluctuate in value based on the block hash. So it's kind of like a running average of the block hashes. And so it's exploitable because obviously that's going to fluctuate around a value, and you just buy low and sell high. But that's all these dang speculators do anyways, right? So so basically I dropped 50 of these wallets on a classroom, and 80% of the people were playing right away. So the onboarding was just immediate, and they're just clicking buttons, buying and selling these things. They have no idea that it's like that is a transaction on chain to a smart contract with every tap, and you could jam on the button. Like you could make 20 transactions right in a row. It just would increment the nonce and fire another transaction off. So it was pretty fluid how it worked, and we were measuring about like 1,000 transactions per hour of thumb traffic from those 40 students for 24 hours until they drained the contract. And two different people won $100 and a couple other people won like $20. So it was fun. It was a cool study.
That's awesome, man.
It was a lot of fun.
This is not on our list to cover things, but I really want to see the burner wallet and trust lines make it into Venezuela. I've been working with these guys. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's like trust lines is a perfect way to bootstrap a country that has no currency, because it's a mutual credit system. You can just kind of make currency backed by trust. I don't necessarily want to go into it full on, but the idea was that we would actually get people on the burner wallet as well, so that we can actually pay them and it's for their time for actually beta testing trust lines. And there's too many wallets out there, right? But yeah, we
still have work to do to get into Venezuela. Like we're going to have to. We're only working on probably about half the phones there right now, and I think that lower half is the important part. So I think that we need to do a better job with the burner wallet of getting it just capable all the way back to like Android 4.1 web browsers, and that's you've got JavaScript barely, but that's important. What
makes it not work?
So right now I'm using a lot of like frameworks and stuff that are heavyweight. So things like edge case scenarios within the burner wallet, like where you want to send an encrypted chat to someone, and when you know, things that barely anybody uses but is in the wallet is really heavy. And so the capabilities, basically I drop you with a giant JavaScript file and it contains everything, and we just need to do a better job of being more like progressively giving you the things you need, and we're working on that right now, so hopefully we'll have that solved. But I've talked with Alejandro a lot, and I have the phone. Like I have the phone, the target phone, and when I get it to work on that, like everything is golden. So we're working toward it for sure.
I'm glad. I didn't even know you got connected to him. That's awesome.
Oh man, all of this started with him. Seriously, like talking with Alejandro in San Francisco about Venezuela started the burner wallet. Yeah,
and I guess like local Ethereum is just blowing up in Venezuela, and they have a lot of traffic there. So we have a foot in the market, and it'd be nice. Like I feel like XDAI can really do it. You know, the burner wallet and XDAI could actually make a use case there. And if we could get trust lines working, then we could really have a crypto revolution. But you know.
So speaking of XDAI, how about that new validator? Did you see him finally get his node up and running?
Yeah. Welcome to the team. We gotta keep Colony a validator.
There we go. Yeah, we do. Why is Colony not on there? It's easy, man. It's easy.
It's easy.
I'll look into it. No.
They voted, so I didn't even know this was going to happen. They basically voted me in. They're like, okay, you're a validator now. And then all of a sudden, like, blah, 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 like block times on XDAI slow down. Every fifth block is like taking twice as long as the whole thing. It was like, what? Wait, what? And I'm like scrambling on AWS to like get a node working and talking. Oh man, it was.
Igor and I were actually debating whether or not we should do that to you. And we're like, no, it'll be good. It'll be all right.
Good.
Keep him on his toes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry it took me so long.
I think it was Alpha Wallet, I think, was the other one that we could have voted in and actually made a validator, but then we just voted them in and didn't hit that last button. But we decided to do it for you because, you know.
Pulling the rug out. Yeah, pulling the rug out, you probably don't want to do to everybody.
Yeah, hey, Alpha, your node's not up. It's like burner wallet's slower.
Yeah, yep. It was cool. It was a fun process.
There were a bunch of other things that we should talk about, and we're already getting long. One thing I wanted to cover is that Aragon's network voting is tomorrow, or I think it starts tomorrow and it goes for 48 hours. And so if you have ANT, make sure to get out the vote. There's some really interesting things that they're voting on that kind of like bring into the larger ecosystem debates that are all over crypto Twitter.
So all of the things you vote on are now, like tomorrow is like when it starts, and then you get to, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, so if you have ANT tokens, every 3 months, you can vote on different proposals that they have, because you actually control their money. So like all of the money that Aragon raised is actually now controlled effectively by them. Now it's kind of, you know, they're doing a transition phase where the association still has the money in their wallet. But for them to spend money, they have to basically ask. And so there's some controversial things being asked, actually. There's kind of like crypto Twitter spilled into the Aragon vote because Ryan Zur from Web3 Foundation is like, hey, you guys should buy some dots. And Aragon's like, I don't know, let's ask the ANT token holders, right? And so they made it a vote. And then Amin from Moloch and SpankChain, right? He came in. He's like, "What the hell, man? You guys have a bunch of ether. You can't be buying dots. They're the competition, you know." And so it's like, I'll make another one that says we should focus on Ethereum only, right? And because Aragon's considering making their own substrate chain and connecting it to the Polkadot network, probably.
These are a lot of different topics in the list, like basically dots, like the different chain launches, like the ETH rivalry. Everything we're talking about here is like the rest of the stuff on the list. You did a good job of bringing it together.
Yeah, well, it all spilled into the Aragon stuff, right? It's like no one cares about what they're talking about in Aragon. Like, oh yeah, Aragon Black. I think there's going to be another dev team or something. but what about these dots? You know,
I gotta get my dots.
they're gonna buy dots? No. Yes, we should buy dots. Yeah, and it's just weird. I don't know. I don't
It's kind
know
of
how
funny,
I feel.
but that's a feature, not a bug, right? Like if you're doing the DAO, like this is
Doing the DAO.
we think about this for Colony a lot. It's like, what if somebody is like, oh, you're underperforming or something, like oh, you're fired, or like, you know, you gotta leave, and then the person's like, no, I'm not. That's not how this works. This is like, you just gotta be willing to just like have devolve that control over to it.
You know what I wish I had a thin layer of governance over? And I know someone did it. I think someone did it at ETH Paris, but I can't remember who it was. It's like a thin layer over my GitHub PRs. Like right now, I have to like get in and like merge things. I'm blindly merging some of these things. Earmuffs, everyone listening. But like it would be so great if I had like a thin layer of governance of like, hey, community, you think it's cool if we merge in this smart contract change? Like I can look at it sort of superficially, but someone out there can like be really handy here and help out with the vote. But
I think they got that running. I think you can actually make an Argon DAO control GitHub account. And that's actually from the dev team that's probably likely going to be voted in the Argon group called Argon Black. This is the Pando team. Pando's trying to build like a new Git that's like decentralized. Although Git's pretty decentralized, but either way, like they're trying to kick it up a notch. So
what about one transition we got to make is Epicenter Griff. I can't wait to see the Epicenter Griff pixture.
Yeah,
we were talking about it. It's a rite of passage. You've made it, man.
I made it. I did it. I'm gonna be on Epicenter. I'm gonna be pixelated. I'm gonna be magnified. Maybe it's not magnified. It's something else.
It's like polygonated.
Polygonated. Yeah. I mean, I love my Cointelegraph one. I have a Cointelegraph where I'm holding a spork. It was really back in the DAO days. So now, you know, like I feel like I finally did it. I finally got there. Well, we should get the Griffs on there. I'll get them. We'll
all
get
three Griffs.
Center. Yeah,
like a Polygon-esque, like Three Stooges look. I like it.
Oh yeah. Oh, Griff Riff. We made it.
We made it.
We just need like maybe 1,000 more times views than we get per video.
Yeah.
We're getting up there. Actually, David, the guy who's submitted a couple of those PRs that you're just blindly merging into, he watched one of the earlier riffs, and like before he knew, like I had met him in Paris and he came here, but like
so he did some awesome merch.
If you're watching this riff, we thank you. You're one of the earlier. If this were a TCR, you'd be making a whole bunch of money because it's gonna.
It's so funny. It's so funny being at the events and like ETH Paris event, and you're like in this dingy bar having a beer, and it's like a layer of smoke, and you can barely see. And someone's like, "Oh, it's you guys from the Griff riff." Like, I love it. I love it. Any closing remarks on ETH? You guys got to talk a little bit more. Give me a little bit more FOMO on.
There were so many projects that didn't win that were so good.
There was like DAO versus DAO.
Exactly.
That was a good one. That was I thought you were a thin layer of governance over StarCraft. So you can like vote on like they had a running sort of.
So it's like Twitch kind of.
So, yeah, like a little bit, and then you can like. It was only slightly like I guess the connection to the actual blockchain was a little bit tenuous, but like it was
no. So so it was like the StarCraft one is the little is like you can pick AI spot strategies to do StarCraft. But the thing that's cool, and then they had another one that I thought was cool, was like a game of chess. And the game of chess, like I love this project. I was trying to get this project to win because I'm kind of a DAO psycho, right? I love DAOs. And but other people said nah. It was good though, and it got an honorable mention. But I just love this idea that they had where it's like you have a dictator on one side as a governance model, and then it's competing against a DAO in a game, right? And like I think any DAO worth its salt should be able to beat
That's so good. Yes. Yes, it's
Yes.
so good.
Right? But probably no DAO in the world at this stage could beat a dictator. You know, if they were like equal playing, but they should be able to, but they can't, right? And so I don't think they could. And I think this is like a good test. This is like how good is your DAO? Can it win a game of chess?
Well, the dictator can be assassinated. The DAO cannot, right? Well, unless someone figures out re-entrance or something.
The meta game. We're always playing the meta game, Austin.
Yeah. I've never even thought of that before, though. It's such a good analogy there. Yeah.
I loved it. Did you have any other favorite projects?
I guess for Shilling, I think it was really cool. This was the first time somebody you actually introduced us to the Snake Nation.
Oh yeah,
people. There's this group called Snake Nation. They have like a bunch of. I actually was just hanging out with them today. I went to their like hackerspace they have in Cape Town, and it's really cool. They just sort of they do like content creation and collaboration, and they have a bunch of university chapters around Africa. And their like target market is this. They call them M2 populations, like millennial. Shit. I mean, sorry.
I think we can swear.
Yeah, they're basically content producers, and they're trying to support like creative industries and societies within universities in Africa. And they just like came up and were like, we're super into Colony. Like we want to kind of like figure out how we would work this with our governance model, and it was really fun. It was great to kind of see that finally, like people are actually like interested in that thing that you've been working on for a while. So like,
yeah. I mean,
what about the next Riff? When are we getting back together? When you're not coming to New York, right? Are you coming to New York?
I'm coming to New York.
So we'll have to do this one again.
You'll be the guy in slow Colorado, or maybe you guys are slow and I'm fast. I don't know.
Yeah, I like this cadence. Like every Global event, you know, we just have an opportunity to talk about awesome, cool projects, and then tell
some light chilling.
Yeah, some light chilling. There are a couple other topics I definitely want to cover. I'm curious. Do you guys have any thoughts on how heavy the interest rate on MakerDAO is right now? It's kind of wild. It's been like climbing like crazy. Have you seen that?
I saw a tweet that was like, well, theoretically, if it climbed to a ridiculous rate, everyone would close their CDPs so the system would work. And it was kind of like a tongue-in-cheek response to a criticism. I mean, I definitely closed any CDP that I had in the crypto winter, or rather, it was closed for me.
Oh no!
No! It's a bad crypto winter for old Griff, but it's fine.
Liquidated.
I learned that. But you know what? If it closed high enough, like if you got stomped out at like because you had your price set at 300 or something, then it would have been. Then you actually made money.
You want to know what it was? At $200, I opened it up and I set my liquidation price all the way down at $80. I was like, oh, there's no way for the low. You know what the bottom of the crypto winter was? $79.
No, that's
this was literally just the universe telling me trading's a bad idea. Like you need to step away. Like
that is the worst.
Can you imagine if the market was a person? It was like boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's see, 82, 81. We got to just get Griffin. Boop. Okay, now let's head back up again.
It's just like we'll just enough to hurt you.
There were always rumors that shit was happening at Polo and some of these other exchanges because like you can see, those exchanges can see where the market stops are, right?
I think I lost you guys. Are you there? Did we lose the internet? Oh man. Well, I don't think anybody's looking at me, but cheers. Happy Griff Riff. Griff Riff. Griff Riff. Riffing on the Griff Griff. Griff Riff. Griff Riff.
False alarm! We're real. It's still happening. The riff's not over, man. Encore.
I'm here. I'm ready.
So Binance Chain. Have you guys seen this? The Binance is launching their own chain.
Doesn't do smart contracts.
Exactly. So like it's interesting because they're like, hey, we want people to launch tokens, and it just seems like a magical thing. It's like, please take all the shit coins, put them on Binance, and anybody who wants to do real smart contracts, build crazy economies or something interesting, stay on Ethereum.
I mean, it's a bit like the Ethereum Classic fork, right? Like that. I think that did a really good job of like the people who were hardcore code is law sort of thing. It actually took the projects that would ordinarily be spamming and attacking on the main Ethereum chain and segmented them for a while. And then I think gradually they've come back. But yeah, is Ethereum?
So I don't do I don't do any building, or I don't do any speculating. I don't do any investing. But I'm like actually like pro Binance. Like the people that I've met have all been like really super positive people within the Binance group. Like, so I just don't know. Like I don't know how this, like when you're saying all the shit coins, it really will, because if they're trying to be a platform that works that exchange angle like that, they will take the shit coins, absolutely. But that's probably what they're trying to do. Like that's a good thing, I think.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I agree. Binance has actually been doing a lot of good work. They have a nice foundation for nonprofit charities and stuff. They're doing interesting things. I mean,
they supported bounties at Paris. They had a prize at Paris, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to be an Ethereum maximalist, even though I'm part of Mulek. But I like other chains.
Oh, this is what I was speaking of prizes, sponsor prizes at the hackathon, right? NewCypher did a really great thing that I really wanted to like shout out. It was like you had like $1,000 bounty out for anybody that built with NewCypher, and then regrettably nobody built with NewCypher for this hackathon. Like it happens sometimes. Like that just happens. And
it's probably because it's so complicated. Like they have the Sputnik stuff is so cool and complicated and amazing. Like that. It's
a lot going on. But what he did was he was like, well, I'm not just going to keep this money because I'm not just trying to incentivize NewCypher. I'm just doling it out equally to all the projects that I think just fit with the general values of what we're about. And I want to support projects that do it. So he took it and supported, like he gave 8 different projects, like he split up the bounty amongst them. And I thought that was a really cool, healthy thing to do for the space. It's like, even if you're shilling your thing, even if you're sponsoring your platform, like if nobody builds with you, like you can still support the general good, still give it to the commons. And yeah, I thought it was great.
Dude, that NewCypher guy was fucking wild. He blew my mind. I love that guy.
Zach Galifianakis of the crypto space.
Seriously, I think his name's Justin. He gets on stage. He's the first speaker. They're the main sponsor of the hackathon, right? And he gets on stage. He's playing. I don't know what this instrument is. The little square, like ting, ting, ting,
the thumb harp, or whatever.
Yeah, like I don't know what it's called, but. And it's like he's not talking about anything, right? He's just talking about, oh yeah, so I'm gonna talk later, so you go to that, and I'll tell you about NewCypher. But I just want to give you time to meditate and chill out and da. By the way, NewCypher is sponsoring some bounties for $2,500. It's like, what? Dude, you're fucking wild.
I hate that I missed the hippie. This is the most hippie ETH event, and I totally missed it, man. We should have taken an amphibious Winnebago and driven it to Cape Town.
Yeah, and soon is Africa Burn. Like there's a week break, and then everybody's going to Africa Burn. It's going to be
not
really
everybody.
Well, not everybody.
I'm jealous.
We have a pretty strong Ethereum crew that's gonna put it down there. And I'm always organizing for Burning Man, and this one I'm just kind of writing. Like I'm looking at the chat, and they're all scrambling and do stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
The workout.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing a little bit. Like I'm doing the accounting, basically. They're using the Giveth DApp to actually do transparent accounting, so you can see exactly where your dues go. It's kind of a fun thing. Speaking of which, actually, there's a new grant opportunity on the scene, or like a new crowdfunding platform in Ethereum called Crypto Unlock.
I heard about that too.
They did. Obviously, there's Gitcoin grants. giveaways on Bitcoin grants for like, if you get people to donate, you know, then the more people you get to donate, they use quadratic voting, and they put out a bunch of cash to different projects, which is really cool. Really generous donors, and they're supporting a lot of great projects. And then of course Giveth, but we're super beta, and like the UX is really bad, so I don't recommend anyone uses it.
So can you explain Crypto Unlocked? Like, what's the TLDR?
Dude, it's pretty wild. Basically, it's a prediction market for charity. And so it's like there's one for Giveth and Gitcoin that's like, if there's over 1,000 nodes, Ethereum nodes, according to EtherScan listed, then whatever money comes into this smart contract will be given equally to Giveth and Gitcoin. But if not, the donors can come back and collect it. So it's kind of like a weird, it's like an interesting gambling reviewer thing, where like if you put money in and the mission is accomplished, then the money goes somewhere. If not, so that's what, the donors can come and get them.
We tried to do Patreon with Gitcoin grants, where I think the Patreon model is that, or is it the Kickstarter model? Basically, there's some model where once you get to a certain threshold, it happens. And I think we tried to do that a little bit, but then it was more about recurring stuff. This is a cool. Haven't I seen bonding curve stuff that works that way too, where like you have to add up to it for a while and then it releases?
Yeah, FOMO 3D is like that.
Okay.
No, but good old bonding curves. No, but it's kind of more of it's kind of like prediction markets. You know, it's kind of like, but it's also kind of a milestone based, right? It's like you get the money if the mission's accomplished. If not, then the money goes back. And so it's a good incentive model. I think people are. I have some questions. I don't know that it'll work great because first off, I don't think people will actually come back and claim the funds. Like, people are just, it's sad, but like they donate the money and they walk away, you know. And then the other thing is, it's just hard to get people to give money. Period. Missions are really tough these days. Like even on Gitcoin, where they're like, listen, it's going to be matched. You know, donate $5, and it could be matched with $100. I still had a lot of trouble getting people to actually donate on Gitcoin.
Yeah, just straight up philanthropy is hard. Like, sorry. Yeah,
oops, sorry. I mean, we've got our other side of the world time delay. Go ahead. Yeah, you go first, and then I'll go next.
I was talking to the guy. Wait, his name, Laraz. Yeah. And we were talking about like why philanthropy is really tough, and the conversation was we need to have like an Oscars for billionaires that's just like really really lauding the philanthropy, like people who are donating money, because ultimately like there's so much inequality that really our best bet is just convincing one or two super duper rich people to like save us all. I don't know, like donate their entire fortune. And the only way to do that is to stroke the egos of like a large number of people, because at the end of the day, it's not really going to be, you know, a grassroots thing that kind of.
Okay, so I 100% agree with this. Yeah. So
yeah.
No, I do. I think that, so right now there's like there's a really tough problem where it's hard to raise funds in winter, right? Like we are at a state right now where people are remembering having 10x. So I talk about this, I think Into the Ether with Eric Connor. I talk about this. I think it's coming out tomorrow. But it's like this psychological thing where when your money is worth 1/10 of the value, you don't want to let it go. Like, even if it's for something that will help raise the value of your money, you don't want to let your money go to do that thing. So there's this weird psychological trap that has happened because of the speculation spike. And so now that we have projects that need money that really could use a lot of help, and people have money, but it's like that they don't want to give that up.
Yeah, 100%. When Ether hits like above 300, 400, 500, then I think people will be generous again. But it was at that like 300 mark for a long time. And even though it's doubled in the last couple months, like from when his CDP got stomped out.
I'll take
it's
that.
More than doubled.
It's fine. I've had a hand in literally like I started with Bitcoin and then I was like, I'm gonna try trading on this exchange called ETHCapetown. And then I was like, I'm gonna buy into this thing called the DAO. This sounds really cool.
Come on.
I'm sorry, I had to bring it.
That's twice. I think this has been a rough on the DAO talk.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we'll stop.
The DAO worked out. Okay, everyone made money on the DAO. As long as you didn't sell your DAO tokens, everyone actually got free ETC out of the deal. So I feel okay with that one.
And now we're in 2019, which may be the year of the DAO, as Amin says. I think he might be right.
I hope so. I hope so.
So go back. I do think we need to stroke some egos of some rich people. Like there needs to be like some kind of recognition for the people who are giving up their money at 1/10 the price that it was. Just like a hug. Like I just want to hug you and say thank you for getting over that psychological barrier and just supporting the ecosystem that needs the support it needs.
What kills me though is the fact, I mean, this is what the common stack is trying to do. I'm trying to get rid of altruism. I think the whole game is fucking rigged. It shouldn't be this way. There is value that's just not accounted for in our current economic models. I mean, that's it. It's like why is donating not the same as investing? It doesn't make any sense. Like if you invest in a startup early and they provide a lot of value for the world, then you can make a bunch of money. But if you invest in a charity and they provide a lot of value for the world, then you lose everything, right? Like, because that's what donating is. It's investing where you lose everything. Like it's just wild. It's a complete incentive misalignment, and I think we can actually find a way to build a new economic model around these things that are generally considered externalities of the current economic model, and because there's value there, so we can actually have an economy anywhere around any value. I mean, that's like Prime Coin created an economy around prime numbers. Who gives a fuck about prime numbers, right? But prime numbers. You like prime numbers? Are you going to donate to support prime number like discovery? No, of course not. But there's an economy. There's an economic machine that is like popping out prime numbers every couple seconds. Like they found 30 million prime numbers.
Well, so this is interesting because I always was pitched on Primecoin that it's actually opposite of Bitcoin, where the hash is the proof of work, has literally no value, but I guess the value is that you have to buy electricity to spend. Like it's this like staking on energy, but the output is just totally thrown away. Like once you're done with the hash, you just throw them away. But Primecoin is like actually there is some value in finding new prime numbers because prime numbers are unpredictable and like there's value for cryptographers.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
That's the point. Yeah, like
and CureCoin takes it even another step. Okay, CureCoin, they take folding proteins for cancer research and create an economy around it. And this was something that was done altruistically. With this program called Folding at Home. It's kind of like SETI at home, but for folding proteins. Yeah, see? Right? And you did it out of the kindness of your heart. You never got paid, right?
Yeah, no, I was just studying. I studied biochem in college, so I was like really into the proteins.
Well,
I like prime numbers, I like proteins.
Someone turned that into a proof of work and then created an economy around it, and now they are #1 on Folding at Home ever since the launch for the last 5 years. Cool. And everyone who's folding at home using CureCoin, when CureCoin's price goes down, they start folding Monero with their miners. Okay, they don't care about proteins. They don't care about any of this. The speculators buying CureCoin, most of them probably don't care about curing cancer or supporting this, but they're doing it because they're investors, because they have found a way to create an economy around this digital commons. And so the goal of the common stack is actually to create an economy around helping the homeless or something in the physical reality. And I think it's possible. We don't need altruism.
That's what Emoji Coin was all about. It was like, give someone economic incentives and then give them 0 speed bumps in between them and trying to earn those, right? Like make onboarding instant and give them economic incentives and you're off to the races.
Yeah, and this is the power we have. This is what's so exciting about crypto. We can actually realign incentives, you know? Yes, doing the crypto dance. Doing the crypto dance.
Griff Riff, it's a Griff Riff.
Well, we were going to cover some other things, but I don't know. Like,
it's like
who cares about block reward funding, really?
That is a thing that goes back to ecosystem funding. Like that's okay. So that is a thing. Like that's okay. So there's definitely there's definitely some shade and drama around the fact that we're talking about editing the actual protocol to then incentivize and pay developers. I think that we can all agree that developers need to get paid, and we have a platform to do that on. It's just that if we carve out funds and they go somewhere, and then it's like, who do they go to? And obviously anybody. The problem with this, I think talking with a lot of people, the problem with this is you can debate it forever, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can always find something wrong with this. You gotta, pardon my language, you gotta raw dog it a little bit, and you gotta just get things done. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have to fix the problem by just doing something first. And I think that this may be something like that, where we just need to get funds going in the right direction and sort of iterate on that.
I don't think that it's gonna work out. I wish, like, the only way I could see it working out is if people just sent the money to the EF. But I don't think there's enough support for that, because otherwise any other idea is just too, I mean, maybe when it's proof of stake, like maybe it could be built into ETH 2.0, and then, like, you know, staking nodes could do a master node thing like Dash, which Dash has been doing that forever, and it's been working great. It's just really, I mean, Ethereum just kind of did it differently. They gave the Ethereum Foundation a shit ton of pre-mine and said, okay, now you do it.
Yeah, it's no way to be perfect. No, you go.
I mean, I think that's an excellent point. You have this graph where it's like you have do it right on one axis and you have get it done on the other, and like getting it done. Like we in the Ethereum space, some people are really into just getting it out there. Just like some of these hackers, like the bonded curves versus each other, were just like they were like, we launched it on all the test nets and mainnet because why the hell not? I was like, wow, why on mainnet? But proof of concept. And then you have other people who like are very perfectionist, like very, you know, want it to be all correct and proper and right.
Colony.
Which it's close. It's so close. It's so close. We're like we finally have a lock on the main contracts, so they're frozen. So Colony.js is no longer hitting a mainnet target. It's actually real 2 weeks. I say this every time as well. 2 weeks.
The two works classic.
Yeah, it's going to be in 2 weeks. Favorite hackathon, also we're launching in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll see Griffin in New York. Yes.
Yes. I'll be there for the whole month, actually. So
holy moly.
Yeah.
I'm hanging. I'll be back here in South Africa still. I'm actually staying in South Africa longer than I've been anywhere. This is crazy. In 3 years. This is 45 days. In
settling down. Yep. Yeah. Basically planting crops, putting down roots.
Dude, I think I'm gonna have babies by the end of this.
45 days.
45 days. It's the longest I've stayed anywhere since the DAO hack.
Wow.
Amazing.
Because I do my timing based on tax. Yeah. Anyway, well, yeah, it was a great riff, guys. Thank you.
What's a great riff? Riff.
latency, but you know, it worked out.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's our fault.
If you're still watching or diehard fans, you don't care about any late.
Yeah, or we're charming AF. One of the two.
Oh, we'll see. Hopefully, we can get more than 50 views. Fingers
50. We're
crossed.
going for 50. Let's get 50.
Baby. 50.
What's the Paul Graham thing? 10% growth. Like we started with 8, and then we just got to keep just like.
Well, our first one had 0 because it's
So even better, we had infinity percent growth.
Yeah.
We really set out for the bank.
I guess we watched this.
But
It was great, guys.
Yeah, see you
I had an
guys.
awesome time. See you guys later. I'm super jealous.
Yeah.
See you.
Good night.